So hello everyone. So today we're going to be doing a little workshop focused on H5P and gamification and interactivity, all those things in that bag. So for the benefit of those who want to know how to access our SharePoint site, uh, they actually added a tile on the portal. It says SharePoint. Before it was a long winded road just to get here, but now it's there. You just click that once, SharePoint, then you have a whole bunch of SharePoints that you have access in the past or it was given to you via link. But go scroll down, find something that says frequent sites, and find something that says College of Education Learning Features. When you click that, you'll be able to access our currently being developed webpage. Yeah, under development. So we're still populating it, but we are happy with where it is right now. But don't think of it as finished yet. We're still going to be putting a lot of stuff in. So for today's workshop, we're going to be focusing on H5P. So I'm just going to click that area. So here is the information that I'm going to be talking about. After the whole workshop, if you want a refresher of what transpired today, you just go access here. You find the PowerPoint slides here. It works like what a normal PowerPoint would be, including animation. I'm quite amazed how far PowerPoint has gone now. It has animations online. So that's it. And the games, you can click whatever games here so that you can access them. So today, before we really dive into the actual stuff, let's just talk about what H5P is. H5P is a website or a service that creates all these rich media interactive games for you. It's quite easy to use. You just build it up and straight up put it into your units. That's what the value it's trying to give us. It's a straight and easy way of creating interactivity into our units. So I guess the best way to probably see that is actually try out the game. Hey, Khaled. So let's just go walk through the games I have made using content from ELA 100 and ELA 512, courtesy of Judy. Yeah, thanks, Judy. She allowed me access and free reign to just pick what I want from her units, which is fine. Um, although I'm not really sure if I did the games correctly. The games are functional, but the information being highlighted, I'm not really sure. So for the first game, it's called the. Actually, that's not a memory game. It's called the flashcard. Sorry, website being under main. So this game is called the flashcard. So it has an image. You can choose an image, and then you can give a hint on what it is. So the first is the indigenous learn speaking Aboriginal English as a home language. Children in this group most likely will live in a community where the majority speak. So it's just asking you for an answer. I'm just gonna type in something. Basically, you'll be able to answer this if you read the learning material. The whole point of these games is to be added after they have read and consumed the content. And this is just to reinforce learning and actually retain some information. So I'm just gonna still don't know what the answer here is. I forgot. So there. These terminologies here, these are terms that were highlighted in ELA 512. Actually, my idea is as a person who just designs, I just look for something that pops up to me. Now that's a challenge for me. If you just ask me to create games for you, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go find terms that are popping up and I'll turn them into a game. Now, what we want to do is that you guys work with me. So you guys ask me to sit down and tell me what to highlight. Tell me what you want your students to actually learn. And I will devise a way to make it interactive and gamify it. So that's first one. Let's go breeze through. It's getting hot. So this is a branching scenario. This is currently being, oh, sorry, I linked the wrong one. I'm sorry. So this is H5P. This is my file library of all the things I did. Just gonna go look for that one, that branching scenario. So I did this with Janelle Merida. So she asked me, she gave me a flow chart. It was to help students know who they are and what they are and what kind of resources that will be useful for their current context. So that was a big document. It was a flowchart. It was, it was bulky. It had a lot of information to take in at the same time, but having a branching scenario assists you in going through that flowchart. So I'll try this out. Start the course. We offer 2 programs for week 1. Stuff. And you're going to be asked, are you a new TEP student? So this is how the flowchart works. If there was a question at the top and asking you who you are and what you are, so as soon as you answer, as I'm a new TEP student, you'll be given information. And once you're satisfied with that, you could click proceed and you get asked further questions in. So this is quite useful for, let's say, when you're trying to teach the differences of certain characteristics in your units and in your learning materials. You have a question?
What's the name of this game again?
This game?
Yeah.
Branching scenario.
Branching.
Yeah, branching. It's like a branch goes out like a tree. Yeah. So, oh, nice. Take it down. If you guys have any ideas, take it down so that we can try it out immediately. As soon as I finish walking through every game here, if you have an idea, tell me the unit, tell me which area to look at, and we'll turn in the game right here. So that's the whole idea of this workshop. I just don't want to be a show and tell. I actually want to see the whole workflow. And then imagine if you go call me, stay with you for like an hour or two, and we'll do the exact same thing and do it for all your units. Yeah, I guess. See, this is my gap.
Step by step.
Yeah. All right, great. I'm just gonna go say that again into the mic so that I'll remember to write that down. Branching scenarios are good for
I said lesson sequencing.
lesson sequencing. Yeah. So this is also a crowd effort. I really need everybody's help to fill in the pedagogical gaps. Technical aspect of it is all done and dusted. I can do all of that. But why and how we use these, it's just going to grow over time with you guys as you help us. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
And then we can look at other.
I think this is also the whole value proposition of the website. It's going to be a collection of all the resources being made within the college. And then we can see like what somebody else has done and get inspiration from that and just do something on our own. So it is great. I'll just go try to do this really quick. Hopefully link this properly this time. All right, so this one is called Memory Game. It's just flipping cards around and seeing which one matches the other. Look at that. See, when it matches together, it holds it in place. Again, this is good for reinforcing learning and helping students interact with information in a different manner. Normally, the concepts here, you read it within text, within a paragraph, and as soon as you go start to end in a paragraph, it all goes away. But imagine if you put this at the very end, students will stay a bit longer on the page and will actually be able to think about these terminology. Again, there's that whole process of recalling what it is. Now, why did I see this concept? Why did I see identity? So what you're going to do, you're going to go back to the whole paragraph and say, yeah, that's where I saw identity. That's why it's in this game. And yeah, again, the whole point of the games at the end of the learning content is to make the students stay there longer. So that's the value for this one.
It probably helps zoom in from all of that text there on what is actually
important. Yeah. Oh yeah, which reminds me, because sometimes we have units that have like key points area. I imagine of just writing key points and this is what you remember. You put a game there. So it just helps them interact with the material in a different way, in a fun way, if I might add. Next is interactive video. Now this one is something I really like because we have a lot of videos for our units. But the problem of videos is that it's a start to end kind of thing. There is no pause. There is no way to break it down. So let's say you have an hour-long recording of a lecture. Now, for now, we think that, well, if we want to break it down, are you saying that we need to remake all of our hour-long videos? So perhaps yes. But another option is using the interactive video option in H5P. So you can actually put pauses and gaps and even tests and quizzes on your videos. So it's giving you what we need and more. So see the video, and at some point in time, there, imagine your video with added commentary. So let's say the video is playing and you say that you wanted to highlight an idea there. It's more than subtitles actually. You think it's just subtitles, but it's not. You just put information there. Now let's go forward a bit. And now it pauses. Earlier it was just something that plays, that goes in and goes out without doing anything to the video. You can do that. But you can also pause the video at that point and ask the student to interact with it. See, I'm going to click this, and a question will pop up. Before they can ever proceed with the video, they have to answer these things. So, do you find this uplifting? And I say no. And you can penalize them for the instant feedback. See, and it says you to continue, or you can actually remove the continue thing and ask them to watch the whole bit again until they get it correct. So that's a very nice way to use interactive video. Yeah.
Is the quality of the sound poor because it's taken from YouTube? So it's like
No.
second level? Quality of the sound is poor.
Well, the quality of sound is poor here because I think because of my internet. It's a whole internet thing, a Wi-Fi thing. But you know, we're gonna go for 5G soon, so I think everyone in the world will have faster internet. I hope. Cross your fingers. Yeah. Oh, and that's another reason why we need to move into H5P because the audience that we have will get used to faster internet, and with faster internet means more interactivity, more things on their screens. Basically, everything is more dynamic. We're moving from static to something more dynamic. So if we have stuff that looks like a book, we'll get a book. But if we're teaching online, it has to feel online. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like to, I think this is something on it. The idea that we should not trivialize the content through this in just a no manner, and then we should have a place where we ask the students to actually stop and reflect and think without actually telling them the right answer, the wrong answer kind of situation. So it's just a comment that we should not trivialize the games that we try to work it out through our content and say this is the right answer and how we want it. Really look at the game. It's just a way to making sure they are engaged and I'm thinking.
Okay, so I'll follow up on that. That's a really good idea. So, are there opportunities when these H5P games and scenarios to allow to go beyond these things? That's my question.
Oh yeah, very much. You can have multiple choice. You can have fill in the blanks. There's a whole heap of options for you to pick. So I'm sorry, I didn't do a fully extensive interactive video, but it can go more than that. And I will follow it up by putting it on the website. So the whole purpose of the website is for you to figure out what it can do, so that by the time you guys ask me to sit down, we're just doing this.
So, if we ask the student to reflect or consider, there would be the opportunity for them to write a little bit of extended text.
Yes and no. If they do create some extended text, unfortunately right now there's no repository for that. So the whole concept of H5P is something quick and easy. Instant feedback as soon as they write something down.
So, for example, you've written an answer in there, and the answer was student, just as the example, just typed in there. It was a kind of a narrow text space. Is it possible to get a larger text space that can be filled up with more words than that?
Yeah. All right. So there's a function in H5P called essay. So how it works is that you give the students a big space to write down their ideas and thoughts. And at the back end of it, how you set it up is you write down the keywords. So that works there in H5P. So they can write a lot of things, but how you check it, how you give inside feedback for it, is you write down the keywords. If they mention all these things, they get points for it. So at least that's how it works right now. Yeah, and also to follow up with what Khaled has mentioned, it is correct. We don't want to trivialize our content, and that is why the College of Education has been emphasized difficulty reaching us because of our content. Our content is not as simple as identifying things or making sure we know what this is called and how it's used. They actually enjoy their time when they were with engineering and IT. Because in engineering and IT, there were many things to point out, like this is a computer, this is a machine, this is that, this is this and that. Things are clear cut. But here we're dealing with concepts and stuff. That's why I'm asking. But I need the assistance of the lecturers here to give me some guidance how to make these more than games. Because if you leave me with it, it's going to be a game. But if you guys are part of the whole process, it's something much more meaningful. Yeah. You have a question? Yeah.
I just want to ask about the copyright on. I just want to ask about copyright on modifying videos and so forth.
Right. So with the videos, the copyright with the video is that we're not modifying anything. We're adding on something over. So yeah, I don't think there's any issue with using the videos, especially if they are in public domain and YouTube.
But it's a matter of defining when you're adding on. What does this mean?
Adding on, think of it like a frame. We're just putting it on the frame. Like this is the whole video, and whatever we add on like comments or quizzes or anything, it's going to be on top of it. And it's only going for the purposes of learning affairs for education. It's only for us. We're not really using it for trying to sell stuff. It's like how to explain this. The easy answer is that we're not altering the video at all. The video stays what it is. It's just being filtered through H5P. We're just adding in, instead of adding those questions writing underneath the video, we're putting it on top of the video. So yeah, just make this more of.
So are you saying that videos like public domain don't need
Actually, not really. It should be fine. Especially,
Copyright issue is not that.
yeah, but how we use it in Blackboard or LearnLine, you can use videos if you use the insert YouTube video function, and that notifies the maker of the video that you're using it in your content. Usually, people don't really, worry about these kind of things. But if you want to be really sure that you are, copyright friendly, you are adhering to these terms, there is a function in LearnLine that you can just say insert YouTube video. You find it, you click it, and once inserted in that manner, the maker of the video gets notified that you're using it in their content, and that kind of makes things okay. If the person who made the video is trying to contest that you can't use this, then they'll just tell you can't use this, and it's going to be removed. But
I think when the functionality was asked me to open in a new window, when you insert the YouTube video, there is an option when it says that open a new window. It's just like opening another browser and checking it out from there. So I don't think there will be an issue there as long as it's not embedded within your content as such.
as long as you don't claim it, as long as you say who it is from, it's still still usable, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have a different conversation with that later. I still need to figure out how it all works in our online space.
But will there be any possibility for reference there?
Yeah, yeah, you can add it. Similar as.
If we just put reference, so we will a pause on the discussion and function.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Thanks a lot. But anything else? Though? Yeah, we'll explore it more later.
Do you have the opportunity for making the concept maps?
Concept maps. I think I saw something like that. Yeah, it's called the graphs and the maps thing. Yeah, there is something like that. It reminds me of how Prezi works. There is. that one's Master Prezi right there. But yeah, well, we can explore that later. I didn't make one because I can't find content applicable to it. But if you have an idea there, we can try that.
I think what you have mentioned about the branching the branching scenario,
Yeah.
I think that, which I think that has the potential to also, to work with the concept maps there. Because that gives a possibility to link different things.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's
Oh,
a
yes.
concept map. We have
Absolutely.
different, components that can link with that. So
Yeah.
I think the branching will have that possibility.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it can happen like that. Yeah. I'll talk to you guys later with content. Just give me the content and I'll try to play with it and put it on the branches here. But yeah, it does fit in that way. Yeah, I just need to do things a bit differently, but it will work out. Yeah. Oh, sorry. For everyone, we're moving on with the next one. This is called personality test. I'm still wondering why there is a personality test function in H5P, but here it is. So look at that. The question is, which ELD indigenous learners you say? I got this from ELA 512, so don't persecute me. So there you're going to be asked, how is the standard SAE used in their community? Then you answer what kind of traits do you think they would have. I'm just going to answer randomly. Again, this is the whole point of this is helping the students know the differences between each in a fun way, I guess. So I'm going to answer more. And after they answer 3 questions, she speaks one or more local indigenous languages. Yay. And then you get the whole spiel of what that means further. Now, imagine this whole personality quiz is so engaging, it's colorful, it's just a lot. And where I got this from was from a table. Now, the table turning it into this, I would actually like to learn it more from this one, at least from a student perspective. It changes how information is being displayed. I'm just gonna go move on. Almost there. So we're having here something more basic. It's called find hotspot. This is pretty useful for like a big diagram, and you just want to ask them, where's this stuff? So yeah, which of these look into science that means something to a culture? Is it context? It's gonna tell you nah. So I'm gonna go click. I'm gonna go retry and click this. The instant feedback, you get the right answer and tells us then, yay, you got a star for it. So pretty simple.
Is it possible to like sequence of activities that
Yes, you can. Now look at these. These are all parts, singular parts.
Yeah.
In the end, you can actually make a package out of it. And you put them all together in a sequence, and then in the end, you can say you got all these things by doing this. Yeah.
And that cannot be done to link to like an assignment.
No.
120%.
Not yet. Not yet. Because we are in the bleeding edge of technology here. This is new. H5P is fairly new, but it's getting there. H5P for summative assessments that lead to actual grade center is getting there, but not yet.
I think actually I've got quizzes at the moment.
Yeah. It's kind of boring how it's being presented. But yeah, they're thinking about it because they saw that H5P is being used more, and why not? Yeah. And just to add on why I'm so amazed by this too is that before, when I was starting out with this role, I thought that I needed to learn code, I needed to learn HTML. But now this one's all drag and drop and produces something for it to use.
Something where it can be useful is finding out all your content matches with the Excel standards. So I think that could be used as evidence for
really
them.
useful.
Yeah, it's really useful.
Linking it to this, that's right.
I actually would like to explore that more because that's overarching concern for all of our units. So we can find some interactive games that allows us to understand this more.
That's like one that, where every links to particular things, not generic across all units. Really good.
Oh yeah. Well, let's explore that at some point. I'm still trying to wrap but I know when you said ITSO standards, I know at the back of my mind I'm trying to figure out how to make that more prominent in our units. Something that allows a student to learn the content, but at the same time link it to our ITSO standards. We need to figure out some solutions there. I think together we can figure something out. All right, moving here on. This is multiple hotspots. So before it was just one. and you can click more. I don't know what the difference is, but you know. So you can click, click. No, that's not it. Click, click, click. So this is from Bloom's taxonomy. It's just finding examples of the creating portion of the Bloom's taxonomy. Now, what I want to point your attention to is this image here. It started out without the names there or without the words there, and I just added them in. Now that's a product of creativity there. Think about the images that you will find later on. I'm going to showcase all the images I've been using here. And just so you know, we can change the color and we can add more things, or we can combine things or take out things. Should just keep that in the back of your mind when you work with me. Next. This one is image sequencing. So you just have to rearrange things in order. I'm not really sure what this is. So it'll show solution. Ooh. So there, you click check, instant feedback. The student gets to know what's the proper order of things. I think this is pretty useful when you're trying to teach steps, perhaps in a math student. You can, test the student if they know which was step 1 to 6. Many applications there. We're getting to, this is fairly simple. It's a word drop game. Basically word pool. You have a word pool, you have words on the sides, and you just drop them where they actually fit. I'm not going to mess this up this time because the answer is right there. And there you go. It's a different spin to fill in the blanks and word pool. And we're almost there. This one is something I really like. It's called Virtual Tour. Now, this might be more useful actually for everyone. If you want to give somebody a virtual tour. I'm just going to leave that loading for a bit. Let's go to drag and drop. So here, drag and drop utilizes images and words on the side, and you just put them in the hotspot. So again, it's all about understanding concepts and their descriptions, because these descriptions, to some extent, if you're not familiar with the content, are interchangeable. They're so similar, but how do you actually differentiate them? How do you process that idea of how to differentiate things when the students are learning? So with this game, it gives you, to entertain you enough to actually have that whole process transpire. So like that. Hey, all right, because I was the one who made this game. All right, so this is a 360 virtual tour of a Montessori school in the US. So I just ripped off the images from Google Images. So look at that, you can go around. If you click one of the spots there, it gives you information. Now imagine if you use this in our schools here for the benefit of those going to placement. So you have a 360 tour of a preschool, a secondary school, or a primary school, and while learning online, they can get to see the whole difference without having to enter a school themselves yet. So it kind of helps the student get into that whole mindset of going into school, so you can move forward, interact with the whole information there. See, go further and further in. Now, how this was made? It was made with a 360 video camera. It's just this whole small globe thing, costs you $300. Put it on a tripod, leave it in the middle of the room, and press click on your phone, and you receive the image. Now that's fairly simple. If you guys are interested in playing with this, I have the tools with me. So I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but it's quite neat. The other thing is, again, H5P does not only work with just information there. You can put tests. You can put multiple choice quizzes or even video. So it's pretty quite useful to teach something in a different way. A 360 virtual tour of your office, possibly. You say you're gonna do a unit introduction, and you say you wanted to do it differently. So let's do a 360 video, and you put items all over your office. You learn the unit at the same time you learn your lecture.
What about having our having the video?
Yeah, exactly.
Before the student go on this one, just
Yeah.
if the school allows it, I mean,
I think they would be interested in it because we can give them this
And what about
virtual VR.
Yeah,
That's something that we want to work on, but on the side right now. Is we actually explore. I was exploring that with Lawrence the other day, but the problem with that is the resources. We can, but the resources is quite expensive right now. $600 for one. But yeah, as technology moves on and our phones get faster and better, I think we can make more resources for them. Because not everyone has access to a VR, at least on the phone.
I think some of the experimenting.
Ooh,
Yeah,
which one?
Yeah, the sim lab that they're pushing on there.
Mm.
Exactly what you said.
Yeah. I might ask. I think SimLabs is with John Mason, is it? Is that? Yeah, I'm gonna ask John Mason with that. That's pretty similar, but why I like this one is this is much easier to do. The SimLab, what it asks you is that the students. Uh, have you heard about the SimLabs that John Mason is trying to do? So what the SimLab is that the students will be given a virtual reality headset, I think, or even with just their phones and using Google Cardboard, put it over their heads, and then they'll go into a virtual space. And in that virtual, it's not a virtual space, but it's a classroom setup, I believe.
There are actual actors who would
Mm.
like different
Mm.
and
So
give them all of those.
replay what the whole placement experience would be. So that was the whole idea. But yeah, that's a different thing. And I think it's pretty good to pursue as well. But well, we can. I'll do a 360 video, a 360 photos, not videos. I'm moving. All right. So I think that pretty much covers everything that I made. H5P has a lot more to offer. You can go to h5p.org and you can just go search for all the things that you might want to try. So click this, and it gives you an example of how it was used. Now, I could have just used this website and show you what H5P does, but I really wanted to try it out with material from our college. So, yeah. So basically, that's what H5P is and what it can do. Next is to actually creating stuff. So for H5P, working with me, H5P working with me, and this is how it goes. So that's it. That's basically a three-step process. You point to me where the content is. You help me understand what the content is. And next, you choose what a theme or an image or whatever look and feel you want it to be. And then I will do the H5P. After the H5P is done, sorry, it wasn't written here. I'll put it in later. Is that I'll give you the code for you to insert it in your learning material. Or if I'm already there beside you, I'll insert it for you. So that's what we're going to be trying out right now. What we still have time before we end. So if you guys have any ideas right now, or if not, I'll just, try it out with Judy's units again. Oh, yeah. I can do a unit for you if you like. So, I'm already exhausted Judy's unit. Yeah.
Question first.
Yeah.
So I've got my own H5P.
Oh, you have the account, yeah. Yeah.
So everything I've created is saved in that.
Yeah.
At the moment, no one else can access it.
Yeah.
Now, talking to Janelle about the branching scenario you had before,
Yeah.
we were saying it'd be really good if we had access to some sort of common account with it, so we could make minor changes
Actually,
when required, rather than having to do everything.
yeah. Well, you can actually put it on we have a public folder.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of these things are actually public. So how you do that?
Downloaded them.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
do a sharing.
Yeah.
And just click. I click all content, and then you can access it.
All right.
I think so. I maybe add collaborators there as well, so people can come in and go and change it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
nice. And since you brought up that you have an account, I think what is going to be useful for you is this resource area that I'm building. So again, in our whole SharePoint site, is I'm putting all our stock photos, all our graphics online. So it doesn't bug you anymore to download like a lot of things that consumes your hard drive. Everything is online, and you just download it as you need it. and delete it as soon as you already uploaded it onto your LearnLine sites. So look at these images I have here. Let's say I want to download this. And once it downloads, it's going to be looking like these things. Now, what I want to point your attention to here is I want to show you just before we create an H5P content is how I change the color and how simple it is. So let's say this whole illustration here, I'm going to drop it here in my Illustrator. This is a process that I do beside this. I swear it's not going to take much time. So you choose the image, and I'm just going to do this. Select everything, edit color, preset, color harmony, and then basically I just choose a preset. Kids stuff is which I'm really fond of. It's really nice. So it's quite simple to just change all the colors in all these illustrations. So let's say I'm happy with that. I save it, and then I upload it to our H5P. But, you know, I already have stuff that I can use so far. So I'm just going to open that folder, just preparing it for Janelle. And Janelle, sorry. I always confuse Janelle and Joe. There's James, Joe, Janelle. All right. So what content are we looking at?
This just some maths.
Mm. The unit is algebra. Oh, are you sure? What's the unit code? Unit code. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to access it. Oh, also what you're seeing on screen is this is how I access units. So you just click on it and just do a quick enroll. I have the power to go in.
Yeah, just like I already got some.
Oh, you already have it here.
Yeah. There's things I normally get mixed up, like 3 times more.
Oh, okay. So Joe's stuff, can I have it?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go write it down here. So Joe gave me a piece of paper. It has all the information already. It's not on the learning material, so this is a good way to work as well. So I'm just gonna recreate it. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. Didn't I do this something similar for you? I'm just gonna go open that if you don't mind. I'll work on this later. Yeah, where did I put that? Do you mind if I open my email and just look for it? Hopefully nobody says something bizarre today. Oh no, it's all good. Aha! So I just want to show everyone what email got. Where is it? Where is it? Sorry. Nope.
It was the cards with integers.
Where is it? Integer. This one. So Joe just sent me an email and she gave me this. So on the left side matches with the right side. That's the whole idea. Now what I did is that I went into my selections of images. I'm just gonna go find where it is. Sorry, dead air. So basically I made images for Joe and putting everything on these images. What I got is the tiny robot, and I just added all the information there. All of it's so cute and put it there. And after that, how do you build that in H5P? Now, this is where it gets interesting. So this is H5P, add content. Then I think that was memory game.
Yeah.
Click that, memory game. You choose what it is first. I'm going to call it integer game. And there it is. It's asking what's the first card is. I'm going to look for the card. I think this one. I think that's the one. And it matches with the next one. Then I'm going to go to the next one as well. 2A matches with 2B. So let's leave with that for a while. You can add more cards, but I'll just, for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to go leave with just 2 matches. And then I'm going to add a background. Because as you know, those are PNGs. I really want to highlight the fact that it has transparent background. If you leverage on this, there's so many things you can do about it, with it. I'm going to add this one. I like this one. And color that. Press save. And there you go. You got a memory game. Just a few minutes. See? And then they can retry and do it again. And things get shuffled. So students who just finding it hard to read through the unit will just, stay a while and play with the game, and then they come back. This is basically replacement for that coffee break. Because sometimes when we can't engage with our content because of cognitive load, which is just too much information at the same time, we want to break away from it for a while. So we go grab a coffee, watch a TV, watch a series or something. And unfortunately, sometimes we just can't bring ourselves to go back to the desk. But again, the whole point of having an interactive game there is to keep them longer. Just give them a break for a bit. Look at it for a different perspective through a game, and then go back to the content. So yeah, that's one of the games. Now, since we have a bit more time, I guess I can show you. Did I press record? I pressed record. Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna go